I don't know. I'm kind of excited about it. I I hope we have a packed, crazy house that, the thing about playing in front of a big crowd, right, is like if you're not used to it, like sometimes the guys get so up and they like, it almost wears them out too early because they're not used to the big crowd. There's a school in our league that they always have a big crowd, so it never that's never a part of it for them, of that. And I remember at Baylor, early on, whenever we would play certain teams, we'd get this big crowd. It was what do you call it, college game day, right? So you'd get this really big crowd, and we always felt like our guys didn't know how to respond to the big crowd until we were able to get consistent big crowds, and then it became a norm for you, and so that's going to be something interesting for our guys to learn to handle. And will our fans then be consistently here to see K-State and not necessarily who we're playing?
Tell me about the Oklahoma State.
Fast, athletic, tough, and they're very hard to score on. Like, you don't get a lot of opportunities. They are special in transition. Like, and then Bryce can really score it. The right kid that they got, he can really score it. Appleby is shooting the ball well. The three-headed monster, Tyreek and Cisse and the Boone kid, who is probably as improved of a kid as there is in the country. And they just make it hard for you. I mean, think about it. Cisse was out last game and they still had 12 blocks. It's tough. And Mike does a great job with those guys.
How's it feel being ranked?
I am very happy for our fans and for our players and for our staff. It's not, our goal wasn't to be a ranked team, right? But it is pretty cool that along the journey it happens, and so now, our last 3 games, we played against a team with a number next to their name. I didn't have to do anything to get our guys motivated for those games, right? And now we're going to be the team with the number next to our name, and the team we go against, they're not going to have to do anything to get their guys focused and motivated for us. So our guys have to be even more focused and even more motivated and even more locked in to be able to play games with a number next to your name.
Are you concerned about that mind shift?
No, I'm not. I think we have a mature team. I really do. I have a very mature team and they approach it very businesslike. And so.
How do you feel like the team is, from a composure standpoint, has handled the last 5 minutes of each Big 12 game?
Okay. Are you talking about the overtime 5 minutes or the 5 minutes that we?
That's regulation.
Yeah, I thought there's been a couple times that I thought we could have done some things differently that we wouldn't have had to go to overtime, and so we have to get better in that. But I've been very proud of how we've handled overtime.
Coach, when you were hired, when you decided what you kind of wanted your culture to be, what principles were those, and why are those important to your program?
Well, the first thing is that we're going to be very thankful, right? And because it's impossible to complain and be thankful at the same time. And so if you have people who are thankful, they're not complaining about it. I don't like being around people who complain. Thankfulness is something that spreads everywhere. Thankful for the people who clean up around here for us, and just thankful for our professors who prepare a lesson plan and show up, and just all the little things. I want guys and a staff and a group of people around me who are thankful and they don't feel entitled. That's the most important thing. The second thing I'd say, I want people who are on time, and because I believe time is a sign of respect. Like if you show up late, somebody, you don't respect their time, And that translates on the basketball court, right? Like if you're late to class, you're gonna be late in rotations. You're gonna be late on setting the screen, and so being on time was really important. Sign respect. You know, other than that, man, it's just about just coming to work every day and just being hard workers. And we just spent 6 days together, and we had a blast, right? Like it was fun to be around those guys, and that was the team that won the national championship. Those couple of years that we were together, they were fun to be around. We spent 30 days in the bubble, and it wasn't. And I've been around on some teams and with some teams where they weren't necessarily fun to be around, right? And so I like being around these guys. I like our staff and our players. They're fun to be around, and so that makes this thing
What
nice.
goes into your mindset to take those opportunities like you did between Austin and Waco and go out and do things when you come up with things like going and playing laser tag or those types of things?
Man, these are kids. You know, they're kids. I know this is a business, right? And for some of them, they have to treat it like a business to get to where they eventually want to get to. But at the end of the day, they're kids, man. And if the only time you spend time together is on a basketball court and we say we're a family, then you're not really a family.
Coach, when you came in, you talked about elevating and not rebuilding, which sounds great when you say it, right? But to actually be kind of proving it now, what does that mean to you that you've been able to have the success in year one?
It's always cool when you sit in kids' homes and or with a staff member, people you're trying to get to join your family, and you tell them, hey, this is the plan, you know, this is what we're going to try and do. We're going to accomplish some of these things together. And then you see it like come to pass. And really what it is, it's a testament to God's faithfulness, right? Like this wasn't my vision. This is, I'm simply an instrument in this thing of, you know, basketball is just the platform that God's given me in order to help mentor young men. And to see it come to pass, it's a testament to the faithfulness of God. And that's what I want this to be about. Not me, but just the faithfulness of God when we honor him with our gifts and our talents.
There's a little bit of a validation also of your, I guess, beliefs and principles, you think?
Yeah, I think it's a validation of our whole staff and the culture that we have.
Can you explain what the difference is between rebuilding and elevating?
Well, I in my mind, I just didn't think. I can't say that, because it's gonna get twisted. Somebody's gonna get you say this stuff like, there's no reason why this university with this fan base in this league should not play in the NCAA tournament or compete to play in the NCAA tournament every year, right? There's no reason with this fan base and this university and the resources that we have that we should not compete for a national championship. And not everybody sees that, but I saw it, and God allowed me to see it, and I just felt if we got the right people together, we wouldn't have to change a lot of things. It's just about raising the expectations and the beliefs, and that's what I meant by elevate.
Kind of had the injury bug and a little bit of foul trouble. How huge is Bebe been the last 3 games because of that?
No, Bebe's been huge, and but Bebe's injury allowed David to get a lot of time, and everybody was like, "Man, how huge has David been with Bebe's injury?" And well, now David's injury is allowing Bebe to get a lot of time. Well, when David comes back, we're gonna have a fresh leg David, and we're gonna have another person to add to the rotation, which is gonna make us even more difficult to guard.
What's your response? I'm sorry to interrupt. What's your response to Marquise being named National Player of the Week?
He deserves it, right? I mean, his hard work is paying off, but I don't think that was Marquise's goal, which is what I love about him, right? Like, he's got bigger goals, and so I'm excited for us to continue to get a little bit better every day.
Coach, I know you had high hopes for this season, but 11 from the country, just 3 games in the conference play. Is that something that you envisioned?
No, I didn't envision that, but that's not the like. And I mean, Creighton was top 5, and then somebody got hurt, and they lost 6 games in a row, and then people were like, are they, so that stuff that doesn't matter. Every day we got to keep getting. We won 3 overtime games, right? Had we lost those games by 1 point, right? Would that mean that we're a bad team right now? That we're no, right? It wouldn't. And because we won them doesn't mean that we're as good as we can be. So we just still have to keep getting better.
Coach, for clarification on David's injury, he wasn't in the boot at Texas. He was at Baylor. Did he have a setback? Or what's his?
I don't know. I don't know why he wears might have been didn't go with his outfit or whatever. Yeah.
Do you want, go ahead, sorry.
And also, I need to ask this. There's been a lot of talk linking you to the Texas job. Is that at all?
I don't need to comment on that one.
Back to Marquise really quick. You had a great analogy about the train being very powerful and keeping it on the track. In what ways are you keeping it on the track and he staying on the track, so to speak?
We're finding out what allows him to be the most efficient, shot wise. Different actions that give him the most space and advantage to be able to take advantage of the things he does best, and just trying to that's the thing right there. Like there's not every play is for every guy. Not everything you see someone do, every move you see somebody do on TV is for you. And we're just like kind of just getting rid of the fat, and he's buying into it, and he's been terrific.
You talked about when you're putting this team together that Marquise and I think Ish to some degree to kind of helped you out in the recruiting. In what aspect were they the most helpful, do you think, getting these guys? Yeah.
Well, they were able to tell the story of what it was like to live in Manhattan, Kansas, and what the fan base and the community was like, and I mean, and they had been on the team and they saw us coach at Baylor, and so had an idea of who I was, and so players attract players, and I think some of the guys like Chiante Johnson said he knew he was going to get to play with a really good point guard, so that helped, and so players attract players.
I'll follow up on Fish's question. It's not a fun question to ask, but I gotta ask because I know it'll come up every time there is a job opening. People will throw your name out. How do you deal with that outside noise? And then 2, how confident should Wildcat fans be that they're going to be here long term?
We try to focus on what's going on right now, and I tell our guys that all of a sudden people want to come do interviews or they want to do just like that. None of that matters, and we have a short window to accomplish something that we want to accomplish that we'll all remember for the rest of our lives. And so that is all I am focused on. I am not focused on anything else. I've never commented on what I was going to do in the future at any point in my life. If God wants me at K-State, this is where I'm going to be. If God wants to move me, that is where I'm going to go. I'm going to follow his leading.
Probably had a player before. The phrase is trying to press too much in certain situations. Kind of the opposite to that is let the game come to you. Is Chiante Johnson kind of the embodiment of that?
Yeah, doesn't he look like really calm out there, like really relaxed, and yeah, I think so. There are times we would like him to like turn it up a little bit, and I thought the only game that he pressed was the Radford game, and that was I think a little bit in the Nebraska game early, and I think his family was there and stuff, and it was a big game. I mean, it was pretty cool, and the crowd and all that, and then the Radford game because his former coach was on the other bench. I thought he pressed a little bit there, but for the most part, he lets it come to him.
Coach, I know you say you don't want to get wrapped up in the rankings and all that, but immediate reaction for you and the team when you guys found out today, what was that?
I knew it was going to be ranked. I told the guys that on Sunday as we were preparing for Oklahoma State. So, hey, we're going to be ranked. So I knew that was coming. 11's pretty cool, right? Like we didn't just like sneak up in there, so that's pretty cool. We took a moment as a staff. We enjoyed it, just enjoyed it. I'm going to take the guys out to eat lunch, the staff. no, this is special, right? And so there have been times in my career when I didn't take a moment and just enjoy this journey. And I always tell, like, I'm gonna be a ball of energy, you know, nerves and all that. And as we get closer to games and to the game, and so right now, if I can like take a moment and breathe, and we can all laugh together for a little bit and enjoy this thing, yeah.
What's an accurate summation of just how your offense is playing right now?
We're clicking at a high level right now. It's kind of cool. You know, like normally I like my saying used to be that defense travels, right? And but that offense been traveling pretty good too. So.
Coach, did you see this team being this type of passing team when you started practice, or at least the potential to be what I perceive them to be as a passing team?
No, it wasn't there early. Like they had to learn the reads, right? Like we do things offensively that cause the defense to rotate a certain way, and then they have to make the right read. And so I think we are learning more about the right reads and the one mores. And so, but it wasn't. I remember early on in the year, everybody was talking about all the turnovers, right? And so, but we're getting better.
Where's the biggest area for improvement on your team?
We got to stop fouling so much. We have too many tic-tac fouls, and we have to become a better defensive rebounding team.
You often call Desi Sills a winner because of his past back in high school. How does that manifest itself on the court for you guys and value?
Look, I mean, everywhere he's been, like everywhere he has been, the common denominator of the winning team, the common denominator is Desi Sills. I mean, that's that dude. The energy he brings at practice, his voice that he gives, his willingness to sacrifice in big moments, his ability to step up. This thing, Baylor cuts the game, or maybe they went up 4 on a shot, on a layup, and we get the ball in quick and pitch it ahead to him. He goes in and finishes a tough layup. Now it's a 2-point game. I mean, he makes big plays after big play. They're very loud, right? And but he's always ready, always ready.
Ish has kind of worked his way into the rotation now. What's the biggest thing that you look for from him now that he's kind of doing what you want him to do?
I want him to raise his own level of expectation on what he's going to do defensively and rebounding. And I mean, I think on this past trip, Ish took 4 charges, right? And so, yeah, he's doing a good job. But every day at practice, like once you like set the bar, I was telling him, you tell on yourself. Like if I see somebody run fast one time, I say, hey man, you just told on yourself. You see how fast you ran? Now I expect you to run like that all the time. And so Ish just told on himself, and now you expect that from him. It's not we get excited because Ish took a charge or he got an offensive rebound. It's like we expect it from him, but he has to do it every single day, and he's been doing a great job of that.
Coach, last 2 games afterwards, you've talked about how grateful you are to have this opportunity to be K-State's head coach. How much fun are you having right now? Being able to lead your first program and all those things.
The people I live life with in this office and in the gym, they're just great people to be around, man. And it is a blast.
Is there a staff inbound specialist?
We do it together. That's one of the things that I really stole from Scott is just how much preparation he put into under OB, and we've kind of stretched that to sideline OBs also, just trying whenever we can control something, figure out how we can control it. And the credit goes to our guys, because early in the year we weren't executing it the way we needed to, and they've really locked in on the details of what we want to do, and it's I mean, last game it was super helpful.
You hired Coach Perry to oversee the offense. How much of what we're seeing is sets, things that are creation of coaching, and how much are just principles that he wants offensively that the kids will apply to the course of the game?
A little bit of both. But sets, like we always tell them, like the set is not necessarily to get a shot, but it's to gain an advantage. And once we're in an advantage situation, then you get to play and get the defense rotating and stuff. So they all go hand in hand.
You remember a time when you had a player that's played 3 games at such a high level like Marquise?
Wow, one player playing that well for. Yeah, no. When we were really good, we had multiple guys who could like you didn't have to count on one guy that much. There was a stretch where Pierre Jackson didn't miss a game winner or a game tying shot. Like whenever there was a big shot, didn't he didn't miss it. And so, but no, not at this level. I mean, yeah, y'all saw the stat. Like, there's only 2 other dudes that's ever done what he's done, and they're both NBA All-Stars, right? I mean,
Does that level even exceed what you thought Marquise might be up to?
yes, yeah. It's his buy-in though. Like he bought into the other things, and now it's allowing him what he's worked for to flourish. So.